Your body is always regulating fluid balance, not just when you feel thirsty. Water is built into circulation, temperature control, waste removal, joint cushioning, and the chemical environment your cells need to function. When you stop drinking enough water for your actual needs, the body does not fail all at once. It compensates first. Blood volume gets harder to maintain. Temperature regulation gets less efficient. Waste concentration rises, and performance starts slipping before you feel a dramatic emergency. So stop treating hydration like a background habit and start treating it like a regulatory input your whole system depends on. Start with the mechanism. Your kidneys help maintain the balance of water, salts, and minerals in the body. When fluid intake falls behind fluid loss, the body shifts into conservation mode. Urine output drops, urine becomes darker and more concentrated, thirst rises, and the system tries to protect blood pressure and circulation with less margin for error. Medline Plus lists classic dehydration signs like thirst, dark yellow urine, headache, dizziness, rapid heartbeat, dry mouth, and reduced urination. And the CDC notes that dehydration can also cause unclear thinking, mood changes, overheating, constipation, and kidney stones. That is the real frame. Low water intake does not just affect one symptom, it changes how several systems tolerate the day. Now look at the circulation side, because this is where people usually underestimate the cost. Hydration helps the heart pump blood through the body and helps muscles work more efficiently. When you are underhydrated, the same daily tasks often feel more expensive. Standing up feels flatter, heat feels heavier, exercise feels harder, and your heart has to work against a slightly less favourable fluid state. That does not mean every glass of water gives you superhuman energy. It means that when intake stays low long enough, circulation becomes less forgiving. The body can cover for that temporarily, but it does not do it for free. Then add the nervous system and brain. The CDC is direct that dehydration can contribute to unclear thinking and mood change, which is why low fluid intake often shows up as irritability, headache, lower concentration, and that vague sense that the day feels harder than it should. People misread this all the time. They think they need more caffeine, more sugar, or more motivation, when part of the problem is that the body is running with less fluid margin. This matters even more when sleep is poor, because poor sleep and low hydration stack. One makes the nervous system less resilient, the other makes the operating conditions less stable. Together, they make normal work, training, and focus feel more hostile than they should. Your digestive system feels it too. CDC guidance explicitly notes that drinking water helps the body get rid of waste through urination, perspiration, and bowel movements, and that drinking enough water can help prevent constipation. So when you stop drinking enough, digestion often gets less cooperative. Bowel habits become harder, meals can feel heavier, and people often interpret the result as a fiber problem alone. Fiber matters, but fiber without enough fluid is not a complete strategy. That is one reason hydration mistakes quietly undermine otherwise decent nutrition habits. The person thinks the diet is failing when the delivery system is part of the problem. The temperature and performance side is just as practical. Water helps keep body temperature normal, and CDC heat guidance treats staying hydrated as one of the core protections against heat-related illness. NIOSH guidance also notes that work performance may suffer when you are dehydrated, even if you do not notice it yet. That is the tactical lesson. You do not wait until you are clearly wrecked to respect hydration. If your environment is hot, your training is long, your job is physical, or you sweat heavily, your water needs move up. The body does not care that your routine stayed the same on paper if the climate, intensity, or sweat loss changed underneath it. Now apply this like a coach. If your day is mostly indoors, climate-controlled, and low sweat, your problem is usually underdrinking through distraction. You get busy, run on coffee, ignore thirst, and suddenly by mid-afternoon you have a dry mouth, darker urine, a mild headache, and flatter energy. In that case, your response is not to chug a huge amount all at once at 5 p.m. Your response is to distribute water intake earlier and more consistently. Start the day with water before the caffeine stack takes over. Put water next to the workstation, not across the room. Tie drinking to things that already happen: after waking, with meals, after bathroom breaks, before calls, after training, and during long focus blocks. If your body and lifestyle are high sweat, hot weather, or exercise heavy, then you respond with more structure, because your needs are higher and the consequences arrive faster. If exercise is part of your week, hydration becomes even less optional. The NIH Office of Dietary Supplements notes that plenty of fluids are important for maximising physical performance, and the National Athletic Trainers Association states that optimal hydration helps maintain athletic performance, mood, heat transfer, and recovery, while modest hypohydration can compromise those functions. That means your hydration plan has to match the session. A short, easy walk is not the same as a long run in the heat. A desk day is not the same as a travel day with caffeine, dry air, and low food quality. If your body is cramping, your pace falls off unusually fast, your heart rate feels disproportionately high, or you finish a session feeling more cooked than the workload deserved, hydration deserves a place in the review. Here's where most people stop, but here's the advanced layer. You do not judge hydration by thirst alone, and you do not judge it by one heroic water target copied from the internet. You judge it by context and response. Track urine colour trend, not obsessively, but honestly. Track whether headaches cluster on underdrunk days. Track whether your afternoon cognition is worse when your bottle stays full instead of empty. Track whether constipation improves when intake becomes steady. Track whether training quality holds better when you start hydrated instead of trying to catch up afterward. This is personalization, not guesswork. Water needs rise with heat, exercise, illness, and other conditions. And CDC guidance says plainly that your body needs more water in hot climates, when more physically active, and when ill. So your target should flex with life, not sit there as a rigid number you either hit or fail. This is also where you stop chasing fake solutions. A lot of people know they are underhydrated, but try to solve it with sweet drinks, energy drinks, or random supplement mixes that pull in calories without fixing the habit architecture. CDC guidance is clear that water has no calories, and replacing sugary drinks with water can help reduce caloric intake. That matters because hydration failure often travels with another problem. The person is not just under-drinking water, they are over-drinking things that add sugar or crowd out better intake patterns. The goal is not purity. The goal is to make the default fluid pattern easier for your body to tolerate. Water, other low-calorie beverages, and water-rich foods all count, but the operating principle stays the same. Enough fluid, early enough, often enough, matched to your losses. To make this stick, remove as much friction as possible. Keep one bottle visible at your desk, one in the car, one near the bed, one in your gym bag. Decide the refill points before the day gets busy. If you regularly forget to drink at work, make hydration part of task transitions instead of waiting for thirst to remind you. If mornings are your weak point, front-load a reasonable amount early. If exercise is your weak point, start sessions less underhydrated instead of pretending you can rescue it afterward. Pair the habit with the rest of the system: adequate sleep, sensible caffeine intake, enough minerals from actual food, and enough water around fiber and protein intake. Hydration does not work in isolation. It supports the environment your brain, gut, kidneys, heart, and muscles are already trying to manage. And test the habit under pressure, because that is where hydration failures become obvious. Travel days, deadlines, hot weather, illness, hard training blocks, and long, caffeine-heavy work days all raise the chance that intake falls behind need. On those days, do not wait to feel terrible. Build in earlier drinking, simpler choices, and fewer excuses. If symptoms become more serious, very dark urine, dizziness, confusion, rapid heartbeat, rapid breathing, or markedly reduced urination, that moves out of habit problem territory and into dehydration warning territory. The rewatch detail in this whole script is this. When you stop drinking enough water, the body rarely punishes you with one immediate dramatic event. It starts by quietly making everything less efficient. Circulation, temperature control, thinking, digestion, performance, and recovery. And if you catch that early, the fix becomes mechanical instead of emotional.